Oh my gosh.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It's just so not done.
And they kiss. No,
No.
they don't.
No, they do not.
Send back.
Are they married?
Rewrite.
No.
Dan and I have something in common, guys.
I mean, we have a lot in common. That's the problem.
It makes me want to drink beer.
Everything makes me want to drink beer. All right, guys, welcome back to Off the Air. Today we are here for a special holiday episode.
A holiday episode?
Did you guys not remember?
What holiday is it, Jackson?
Oh, no.
Did you guys not remember? Wait, I feel like Noah thinks I'm going somewhere with this, that I'm not going with this.
This was a bit. I forgot it's the 4th of July today.
Shoot, you're right. It is.
Guys, I'm an idiot.
I don't
You know what?
understand.
Wait, hold up. I'm a level with you guys. I'm disappointed.
I mean,
also,
fair.
I had a whole thing where I was going to psych you out because I figured you guys wouldn't remember it was the 4th of July, and I was going to try and make a joke about it being Mother's Day. And then when you guys were like, it's not Mother's Day, I'd be like, you guys forgot, and it'd be a whole thing where it was like, I forgot about Mother's Day a month ago, and then now I'm just finding out. It was gonna be a whole thing, but it's
Instead, you decided to roast us for being bad at life.
Yeah.
Cool. Fair enough.
But that's how I was gonna introduce our special co-host for the day.
You know what?
But now it's ruined, so I guess we just gotta. I guess she just can't
respect
talk.
So,
That's the play.
What the audience doesn't know, unless Noah decides to leave it in, is that Noah specifically said she wasn't allowed to talk the
It's
entire
true.
episode.
He did say that.
Which is a weird
Well, no, he
choice,
didn't-
considering
he
she was
didn't
supposed to
say
be our
that.
special guest.
Well, see,
Speaking of
Dan,
things Noah didn't say, I'm Jackson. That's not
Dan.
really a good transit. That was a bad
and I'm
transition.
Noah. And today, with Dan editing the episode last week, we realized, I haven't heard it yet, but I already know he needs editing help. So we brought
Fair.
in a professional editor. So, Lynda, a professional, world-renowned, award-winning editor, would you like to say anything?
Hi.
Freaking heck, dude, say something more than that.
I wasn't prepared because I was so busy trying not to talk.
You should have said "aw beans." Can we do it? Can we do another take where you say "aw beans"?
Beans.
There it
No,
is.
we'll use
There it
that.
is.
We're here.
It's a family tradition,
Everyone in the
dare
family
you.
says that.
Except
It's
one
not-
person.
You know what? Never mind. I'm
My
not gonna. Nope.
podcast.
There's one person who studiously refuses to say it.
Yeah.
When are we gonna have an episode where it's actually Dan and I gone, and it's just Noah's entire family?
Can we please? Because that would
We're
actually be a
pieces-
blast.
We're piecemeal getting real close.
It would be. That would be fun.
That would be
I
really
guess,
fun.
is that our secret way of slipping in that this is my mom?
It is. Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
that was the
Lynda's
whole
Noah's
Mother's Day
mom.
bit that I talked about at the start. The whole.
Oh, yeah. There was that
That's
whole
why. That's how I
Mother's
was
Day
gonna tie it
thing.
in.
Lynda,
Well, it
Noah's
didn't
mom,
happen.
and also my favorite mother on the planet. It's okay. My mom
Yay.
doesn't listen to this. It doesn't matter.
That's okay. Even if she did, I would still be your favorite mother on the planet.
Listen,
my
your
mom-
words, not mine. I can't listen. Legally, I can't agree with you.
Legally,
However,
I can just say
factually,
it.
100%.
There you go.
My mom
100%.
doesn't listen, and she also doesn't know you. So that adds up.
Oh, that's all right.
There we
I'll
go.
take
What
it.
about
Mother
what up? I'm
Teresa.
trying to think. No, she's not really up there on my list.
That's fair.
Mother
Trying to
Mary?
think of moms.
Mary, Mother of God?
No. Again, not up there. I don't know, man. You guys remember the Full Metal Alchemist guy's mom?
Yeah, she seemed great
Yeah, he-
for a minute.
She was in like an episode. She seemed nice, and then she just got yeeted.
That's one way to put it.
What's Hitler's mom's name?
Yikes.
Okay, we're ending this bit.
Wow, that was a weird bit. That was
Hitler's
a weird.
mom.
Yeah. Well,
So anyway,
Listen, she was
yeah.
a person.
So
Listen, it's not
yeah,
her fault.
Yes,
I brought my
she
mom
was.
in to teach Dan how to edit. I'm bringing this way far away from Hitler's mom. We're gonna come back to my mom.
I don't know why Dan said
I was
that.
kind of getting worried that
I was
maybe I
trying
was
to
being
think
brought
of the
on.
worst possible mother, okay? Besides my mother.
So
but
that
like
I would look
besides
even
that,
better. That
Yeah,
if
exactly.
I'm beside Hitler's mom, then I would look like a terrific mom. Which
Exactly.
of course everybody knows I kind of am. I don't want to brag, but I'm gonna because
And so
my
humble.
kids aren't
So
going to tell you
humble.
how great I am. My
No.
kids will just say I'm sort of so-so.
That is
In fact, one of
definitely-
my children
definitely
even
how it
told
happens,
me-
and definitely not.
No,
Not a
one of
lie.
my kids even told me I was able to come on this podcast and not talk. So, I'm
That's-
just
What
One of
kid
them
would do that? Oh my
I know,
god!
I'm working
I
under
think it was
such
Jeff.
oppression.
Edge.
That
It
Jeff
was.
bastard.
She was making like the cutoff motions off to the side, like "Shut up."
She's like, don't. Today we've got some spicy discussions queued.
We do,
do.
because
so-
Jackson and I have been like, Jackson and I, for the first time in a very long time, had to cut a discussion short in the text chat because like both of us have actual opinions on something.
Yeah, there was an unironic argument going on, and I'm just like,
So
guys,
we gotta-
please.
Cool it down.
Let's get your stuff done. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
That's my stuff right there. I splashed that all over my monitor. I want you guys to know that's absolutely,
sacrifice you make.
absolutely terrible. It is on my keyboard. It is on my microphone.
Wow.
Enjoy the ASMR of me wiping my microphone.
Nice.
Man, that was just terrible. That was
That's
just
what
a
I needed
really
in my
bad.
life.
It was a really bad time. Oh man. Oh, wow.
Just like this
While
podcast.
you clean up, I do want to say,
No, I'm done.
Dan, we set this joke up when we talked about doing this ages ago. We're like, oh, we'll bring your mom in as an editor, and then I'll just be like, Noah, wrong editor. You ditched me 3 times. I tried to set you up for that joke 3
listen,
times,
man.
and you
Okay, first
you
of all,
dropped me
I'm gonna point this out.
harder than
I'm
I
gonna point this
forgot
out.
about our sponsible. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I said it wrong again.
Wow.
Audibletrial.com
You
/
didn't
off
even-
the air.
Hey guys, welcome to Jackson's Beer Corner.
Jackson's Beer Corner.
A bit that never gets old and actually ends up going on.
It's such a good bit, especially when he has such a
It
good
makes
beer.
me want to drink
Take it away.
beer.
Everything makes me want to drink beer,
But I don't
think
even
that's
really like
indicative of
beer.
a larger problem. Although actually I really don't drink that much beer. I think we've been over that on the show before. How I continually have like 4 beers left over from the beers that I pick each week because I get like a 6-pack of them, and I'm left with like 4 of them because I don't usually drink that much beer.
Do you give them to the homeless?
The
feel
homeless
like that's-
definitely need more beer. Listen,
Everybody.
I have met many a homeless, and the last thing they need in their life is beer.
Are you sure?
Well, I think the last thing
they
in their
might
life
feel
is, like-
refreshed.
Yeah.
And if they knew what Jackson would have to say, like if he would give each homeless
True.
person a beer and say, hey, this one has fruity notes of effervescence that bubble out the top on my keyboard, they'd
I
be
would
like,
say
oh,
that.
I want that one and I don't want to be homeless anymore because this is good beer.
That would be their priority list, actually. It would
I
be
think
number
so.
1, I want that beer. Number 2, I don't want to be homeless anymore.
Yeah. If you
were to
made
say-
it sound less appealing, they might
Actually,
want to be not
although,
homeless.
Honestly,
first.
That's
not wrong.
We've got yikes.
You
We've
missed,
got to
you, missed
talk
us-
about.
you missed having a cigarette in there. But other than that, that's pretty much
Dan,
accurate.
will you please let Jackson
You need
talk?
We do have
Jackson's
to talk about
cigarette
not
corner.
homelessness, home owning before too long, because that's actually my entire personality right now is just being the trash man from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Because it's so bad. It's so bad. We're getting there. Okay, anyway, today's beer is actually extra delicious and extra refreshing, even though I haven't tried it yet, because I got it for free.
Nice.
Nice.
For free.
Because the other day at work, it was really busy, like way busier than it should have been. We didn't have enough people when I was bartending, and I ended up just like also serving. So I had like a whole bunch of the restaurant, and I was also bartending. And the owner was like, "Hey man, you know you did a lot of work tonight. I saw that. Here, pick any beer in the cooler. It's on me."
Aw, that's sweet.
Nice.
So I got a beer.
They like
Look at
you.
you having a decent boss.
Do yeah. Yeah, it's a cool place. It's a cool place to work. Anyway, it is a Double Wings Butter Pecan Porter from
What?
Oh,
Debonnaire is like the vineyard in Madison, and they also own the Double Wings like brewing. So there's like a winery, but they bought a brewery. And so now they have both.
Wow.
But they have the Double Wings beers, which are pretty big in Ohio, and this is the Butter Pecan Porter, as stated before. And I actually have not tried it, but it smells really good, and it was all over my monitor.
So did you lick your
it's gonna
monitor
smell
to
like
try
that for
it?
a while now.
Oh man, that's good. I mean, it's. I've had plenty of pecan porters in my day because in
you?
Texas, I have actually. In Austin, there's a big brewery in Austin called 512 Brewing, which is the area code, and there are 2 beers you can find on tap at pretty much every restaurant in the city, which are their 512 IPA and the 512 Pecan Porter. So I've had a lot of pecan porters in my day because it's one of the only 2 beers you can get on draft pretty much everywhere in the city, and
That's reasonable.
This is comparable in the pecan, but it's also got that like that creamy like buttery goodness to it. This is weird saying, but I feel like this would be really, really good as like a root beer float.
Ooh.
Like I don't know if that is a thing you can or should do with beer, but if this tastes like it would be, because it's a really thick, it's a porter, so it's like a dark beer. I feel like it would be really good with like some ice cream. Well,
To be fair-
I made Guinness milkshakes plenty of times, so it probably works.
Have
Reasonable.
you?
That actually sounds really good.
Guinness milkshakes are really good. We for like St. Patrick's Day, I made a big batch of like Irish milkshakes, which I used Jameson, Bailey's. It's basically an Irish car bomb, but with ice cream, and you mix it all up.
Nice.
So it's Guinness, Jameson, and Bailey's, and in a milkshake, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Guinness is one of the
Sounds
only
so good.
beer type things that I like the taste of. So, and ice cream. I like ice cream.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Guinness shakes, Guinness chocolate shakes usually are the best way to do it.
See,
that's how
now
I
you're
would
making
make
me
it.
want to try this beer. And I don't I don't know.
That's how I feel about Jackson a lot. It's a lot of, oh, now you're making me want to try the thing, but I really don't. I don't want to
He's
try
very
the thing.
persuasive.
So
Yeah.
Now I'm going to talk to you guys about communism.
I don't think he would. No, you can't convince me to try
Much
communism.
like communism, the beer
Communism,
is really
not
great.
even once.
Much like communism, the beer is buttery and pecan filled.
Much like I've heard about communism. That's
Yeah,
fascinating.
which is-
You know what
that's
they
true.
always say, communism.
The communists,
is
they
full
have
of
all the butter.
pecans.
They say that Mao Zedong, he really had a lot of pecans and butter. I've heard that a couple
I've
times.
heard it a little differently, but yeah, you're pretty
I
much
mean,
got it.
that's how it works.
Ooh, something I don't Tiananmen Square, you know, the big pecan riots.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what happened.
that was.
Pecan riots, that
I
happened.
don't understand
They-
what is this. I've
The
never
populace
heard of this
Mao
thing.
Zedong, you got too many pecans going on in China. And then, yeah, I don't really want to go any further with this one.
All right. So
That's a. That's
I'm going to do my trademark hard transition without any sort of transition. And Lynda, you want to tell us about yourself just a little bit now that we've had this spectacular beer corner? Oh, speaking of beer corner, Jackson, I am drinking one of the former beer corner beers, Golden Monkey.
Nice.
Very good
Oh,
choice.
not nice. Isn't it like 10% or so?
9.5, yeah. It's a good time.
I have got a very, very strong beer I want to do in the corner before too long.
I can't wait to hear it.
You
But-
will not be able to fathom the numbers we're
But while we
pumping up
wait
here.
for that, Lynda, what
Yes.
do you even do?
Well, you know,
Wow.
I do so many things, and my kids never believe me that I do any of it. It took me a long time to convince them that I actually had a job.
I believe
paid
that.
money.
Actually, that tracks.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I even showed
You
them
want-
a paycheck, and they accused me of printing it myself just to pretend.
Well,
To be fair,
did you?
would you have?
Well, yes, I did, but they didn't know it at the time. They thought it was a real paycheck.
Wait, so you're telling me that you presented a fake paycheck,
Yep.
and then they said that's a fake paycheck.
And I said no. And I
Okay,
don't know
just-
why they
I'm
didn't
just
believe me.
making sure everything tracks here.
I do all
worst.
kinds of stuff, and I actually happen to like what I do, so that's kind of nice.
What do you do?
Well, one of the things I do is I edit books, which means that I get to tell people why they're wrong, and they have to listen to me because I'm the professional, which is kind of cool.
That's true.
Yeah, I get to
I
be
don't have to
bossy,
listen to
very
and
fun.
nobody
because you don't edit
cries.
my books.
But that's the most fun part of what I do. And then my other job, I sing, so that's fun too.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Good job.
You know, I've got
together.
good stories to match both of those actually.
I'm an enigma.
I've got some good singing stories, and I've got some good book editing stories.
Do you now? Do
I
you
do.
still write? I remember that you used
I
to write.
do very frequently. I actually have a couple things I'm working on.
I remember reading something that you had written, and I was like, when are you going to write more? And you're like, I lost interest in it. And I was so mad because it was so good.
That
And
was
it
like
was
middle school
interesting.
Jackson now.
Yeah, but it
Jackson's
was
doing
fun.
a thing and then immediately losing interest.
I know.
Now
Lies.
out of school, Jackson only writes sad, horizontally moving stories. It's great.
That's not so bad.
You're the worst.
Yeah, I don't like anything fun, but I really like things in the vein of like what they classify as like the great American novels, where it's things just move in a horizontal direction and time is the only thing that really goes forward.
I gotcha. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're very exciting.
That's all that stuff all
I mean,
the time.
we are.
I'm-
You're the one talking about it. You're the one that brought
Did
this
you-
up.
Did you guys? Did we ever have an episode of the podcast with my roommate singing in the background?
Yeah,
We did
Yeah,
not.
the early episode.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Dan, we
Okay.
did. I edited out most of it, but you could hear opera
Yeah,
every
my
now
old
and then.
opera singing roommate.
Oh,
That's-
wow.
Dope as heck.
Yeah.
So
I
did
was
you
in
learn
Austin.
any
Yeah, you
opera
didn't know about my-
tricks?
I mean, not
You
really.
learned
You
you
need
can't
lessons
do
all the
it.
time. Well, I'm actually better than you'd think, but not good.
I remember
Not
the
good enough to
episode where your
sing,
cat
but-
kept meowing. That was kind of
She
cool.
does that. That's just who she is.
But that was like
so
your
every
solo. It was when Jackson was all by himself, and I listened to the
no,
whole
no, no.
episode.
I mean, that was one
thank you.
episode that the cat meowed, but there was also
Yeah,
the
she-
other. There was the other episode that had happened as well.
Yeah,
Oh, there
she's
you go.
basically
Happens a
been a
lot.
guest spot on at least 2 episodes, probably 3.
More like
Well, that's
6.
pretty cool.
But continue.
Yeah, usually I've been just kind of like barring her out of the room lately. Although now that I'm with my parents for the time being, she's just kind of hanging out with, and like she just sits with my dad for a couple hours, so it's good.
So it's not like she's too lonely just waiting for you to finish your stuff.
Exactly. So it's good. But
Yeah, she's got your dad.
once I stop being the trash man, I will she'll have to scream at me all day again. Very exciting.
That is very exciting.
My book editing story, much more exciting than the opera singing roommate.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
I had a coworker of mine. He's a really cool dude. I think he I don't know if he still listens to the podcast, but I know for a long time he did. And the name was Matt. And he had he had spent 11 years in prison, and in that time he basically became like a book connoisseur. So he was like a huge literature buff.
Wow.
Really, really well educated, very smart dude. And he got out of prison. He was on the straight and narrow and everything. He's still good. Still working, same place. I used to work with him. And we always talk about books and stuff. He was really, really smart about it. Of course, it's hard to find any kind of gigs, like having served, being a felon. It's
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, the system which places you in incarceration then proceeds to devalue anyone who's gone through their program that's supposed to. We'll talk about this a different time. But anyway, it's crazy that you can't vote in half the states if you're a felon, even though the program apparently work. Or are you willing to admit that your program you're putting in place doesn't work, but still not changing it? That's messed up. He got an editing job for a novel from a friend of his. It was erotic. It was an erotic novel.
Wow.
And
those are big sellers.
Guess who the protagonist was? The love interest.
I was gonna say the protagonist was definitely the person he got the thing from.
The protagonist was the person he was editing for.
Was the love interest
the love
him?
interest was a spitting image of him.
Oh no!
And it's not like this guy. It's not like this guy is generic looking. He's like a 6'4", big, like Irish dude. He is very definable. Like if you know him, you know him.
So he's reading this book and he's realizing this is me. This is like a book.
He's like,
my!
He's like, she contracted me to do this because the book's about me.
How horrifying!
But he was also like,
Yikes.
She's paying me really well. So he kept doing it.
Not so horrifying.
You know what? Good on him good on him for committing to that.
I don't know if she ever gave up on the book or if she's still doing it, but he was editing and she was paying him real well to edit her.
I bet she was.
About him.
Wow. She was probably hoping he would be like, hey, I actually want to do this. And then she would suddenly have him in
I want
real
to bang
life.
you now. That's what she was thinking would happen.
It didn't work out. He had no interest in her.
No
wow.
way, really?
Well, he had been in prison, so he probably had somebody on the inside who was waiting for him.
And so he had a way with the ladies. One time we went to 7-Eleven after work, and he left with a girl from the 7-Eleven. and I was like, because I was giving him a ride home. He's like, actually, Jackson, I'm good. Her and I are gonna head out. And I was like, nah, I've been pumping gas for 2 minutes.
What the heck?
What are you doing over there? He was just going out and spitting game, I guess. I was like, man,
he must have like one really good line that works on everybody, and all he has to do is say that one line, and people just melt.
He just comes in and is like, hey, you ever been to prison?
That would do it. That's the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
Me too.
I haven't been to prison. Take me to prison. You know what? Take me to prison.
Is that like the song Take Me to Church, but it's like way worse?
Take me to prison. I'll learn a lot about books and become really smart. I had a thing. Oh, pickup lines. Lynda mentioned. Do you guys have a pickup line or pickup lines that you've ever used? I mean, or that you have an idea of using, that you are aware of that you think are good?
Does using them in the context of already like I will use terrible pickup lines on my girlfriend all the time. Does
because
that count?
she's going to fall for them anyway.
Well, yeah, exactly.
She doesn't have a choice to fall for them or not at this point.
I mean, she definitely does, but don't make it sound like I've trapped her here.
But I think it's really funny that Jackson is asking, on the episode where Noah's mom is on the podcast, he's asking if, does Noah actually have a good pickup line? Because, I want to hear that as his mother.
Do you have any good pickup lines?
Yeah, Noah, do you have any good pickup lines?
I feel like the answer is no.
The answer is definitely no.
I don't want to be boring, but the answer is definitely no.
Oh, do you know of any good ones?
I was gonna say, do you have any that you particularly find funny?
Because if not, I've got one that is,
So, funny story about pickup lines.
They don't work, and they're awful.
Are you changing the subject? Are you changing the subject right now?
No. It is about pickup lines. I had a guy I used to work with who, back in the day, I can't find him. He wrote me down. I had a little notebook.
You looking for him?
And he wrote down, you know him, Lynda. It was Lucas Spurka.
You can't just.
okay.
I guess you can.
I
Edit
can't.
It, yeah.
He died. He's so.
Yikes.
What?
Okay.
So I'm not gonna out him.
You don't want to know
Super
people
cool
who
dude.
die.
I
He
mean,
was a
I
super
don't.
cool dude.
Nobody
fun
dies.
guy.
Oh.
And he sent me, or he wrote me this like list of the worst pickup lines. They were so great though.
Do you think was he into you?
No. He's like, bro, one day you're gonna find a lady and you're gonna wanna woo her. And you know what? Some of the best ways to woo a lady is with a good pickup line. And I'm like, you sure? Because I was only 18 at the time, but I wasn't dumb, you know? It's like,
He sounds
yeah.
like he might be onto something.
And it's like,
I
let
mean-
me see you a good one. Here's one. How much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to
Oh,
break the
man.
ice. Hey, my
Yikes.
name's Lucas. And that's the level of stuff he gave me.
Wow.
Yikes.
Oh no,
That one is
they were all
the most.
so bad.
I feel like you should change that and instead just be like, how much does a black bear weigh? But just be genuinely asking it to find out which women know the most about bears because they are the most suitable to be with you.
They're the most
Because-
suitable
There you
mates.
go. They'll put meat
That's
on the
true.
table.
Number one thing you look for in someone, knowledge about bears.
Honestly, that's always what
Number
I've looked
two, knowledge about White Yoda.
for. I can't believe we talked about how we weren't going to bring up White
I can't
Yoda.
stop.
No, we
dude.
didn't.
I've been looking at-
Wait, we
I've
didn't
been
talk
looking
about
at
this.
him-
What?
We did
I've been
before the
looking at him
episode.
for the last 25 minutes. I've been looking at White Yoda's face, just staring back at me. I can't not talk about him.
I'm
feel like he's
staring
like-
at him too, and he has so much hair in his ears. It's
hate
really
it,
it's
yeah.
making me want to
It's-
pluck his ear hair.
It is vile. Yeah.
Gross.
You know what makes me really angry is White Yoda's face. He's up on screen right now for anyone watching the YouTube version. White
He just
Yoda's
looks so
face reminds
tired.
me of a man whose hair I cut today, but not in a good way.
Did
Did you make him look
He
that
had that
good?
much hair. No, I wish I made him look this good. He got a bad haircut because that's what he wanted. But he had that much hair in his ears.
Yeah.
Did you cut his ear hair?
I did. I cut it all out. And it was very
Oh, no.
satisfying, but it was also people grow ear hair, and that's fine. Okay, I know that.
Not okay.
It happens.
But
If
like,
you grow your hair, I will
unfriend
end
us,
you.
end us. Oh dang!
Yeah.
But like, it makes me so uncomfortable doing a haircut when someone has like a lot of ear hair. But it is also strangely satisfying to get rid of it. The only gross time is when it's guys who have a lot of ear hair and they don't clean their ears, so it's ear hair and ear wax. Big.
Do you
big
just
no.
like
As
sneak
somebody,
it out
as
of
somebody
their
who
ears?
has a ton of like, not a ton of hair,
Just
but a
touch
ton of
up ear hair.
no, a ton of wax buildup. Like it just is a thing that happens, and I can't get rid of it. That hurts. That hurts a lot.
No. See, I understand that, but it's like these guys also are like not super clean, and I
Yeah,
know it's
you're
because
aware
they're
of it,
older and they
Dan.
can't. But like, yeah, Dan, you're aware that it's a problem. That's different.
Very
you know?
aware. It's the worst. It actually
like,
affects
these
my hearing
guys-
semi-regularly.
Oh, dang.
Same actually.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had that happen. He actually had to like go get it cleaned by a doctor.
I've
I've
done
had
that
to
multiple
do that
times.
Plenty of times. Same. Dan and I have
It's-
something in common, guys.
I mean,
This
we
is
have a
the-
lot
Wow.
in common. That's the
I
problem.
kind of feel left out because I haven't had to go to a doctor for my earwax, but I have
could.
sympathy for you guys. I could. I'd have to
Something
like
tells me-
put some wax in there first so it would make the doctor's
just
appointment
shoving
worth the money
candle
I'm
wax
paying.
in,
Yeah, they'll be like,
That's
this
a good
there's a
idea.
wick
just
in
shaving
here.
off
And
your
I'd be
candle
like,
wax and just shoving it in your ear.
why are there birthday
a good idea.
candles in your ear?
That's
And I'd
not
be
what
like,
an ear candle
well,
is.
I just wanted to
That
be
might be
part
right.
of the crowd.
I just want you guys to like me.
I needed some friends, and so I stuck birthday candles in my ear and
so
came
I
to the
was on this
doctor.
podcast.
And I got this great idea. So Noah, when you cut these guys' ear hair, like, do you just sneak it out of them, or do you ask them, like, "Hey, can I please get rid of this
No, I just
horrible
do it.
monstrosity"?
No, I just do it. A lot of the guys are like, when I'm like, I'll cut the sides of their hair, all right, and then I'll pull out a mirror and I'll be like, so how's this look? And they're like, well, you're gonna trim around the ears, and I would literally have just said, I still have to trim around the ears, but how does this look as the length on the side? And they're like, well, I mean, it's really long around my ears, and I'm like,
It's
But
coming
usually-
from your ears.
To be
But
fair,
Tell me that
but then
people, when
to be
interacting with service industry people, are unaware of what's actually happening and just want to have something to say.
to be fair,
but then
to be
well,
fair,
but-
as somebody who's on the other side of that all the time, it's because that's the part of my head that my eyes immediately gravitate to.
I know, but it's the fact that I said I haven't trimmed around your ears yet, but does the
That's-
length on the side look good? And they act as if I didn't speak and just gave them a mirror. That's the
But
only
like
thing that
the
makes
length
me
on the
annoyed.
side is the part
'Cause
that
they
goes
can't
near your
hear.
ears.
I know.
But they can't hear because
I
their
know.
hair in
I
their
know.
ears and their wax is just they didn't hear that you said something.
But,
It's true.
but what I was trying to lead to from there was
No, it's just
a
super
lot of
prejudiced against old
the
people
older
confirmed.
yes, I am. A lot of the older guys will then say, "You're gonna get my ears and my my eyebrows too, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And then I trim off their eyebrows and I trim off their ear hair.
I hate that
oh,
you
well,
have to
good for
trim
them
their
for
eyebrows.
recognizing it needs
Oh, yeah.
done.
No. All of them recognize it. I've only had one man tell me not to cut the hair out of his ears.
He liked it.
Really?
He wanted me to leave it. He didn't want me to line him up. He didn't want any of that. He didn't want me to trim his eyebrows. He just wanted me to do a number 2 all over.
He wanted you to
Not-
poop on him?
No. Okay, let me clarify.
But he wanted
me
to because
do
the
a
ears
number
were
2
so
clipper guard.
repulsive.
He said, "Can you just poop on me, Noah?
That's a different kind of store, buddy.
On me."
He wanted me to do a number 2 clipper guard all over because that's how
Oh,
he
you
got
got
it
a
in the
service
army.
industry?
And he's an army
Is
chaplain.
that a Golden State thing, or who does that?
Wow.
So Lynda, I hear you
Darn the
edit
Clippers
books.
with the
So
number
that's
2.
why he moved
what
down
do
to Corey.
You mentioned editing books and singing. Tell us
Wow,
about
didn't
some
let
of your
Jackson
life here.
or I give good pickup lines. I'm hurt, Noah.
Wow.
Oh, I'm
true.
sorry.
I had
I
a good
forgot
one.
about those. I would
Go-
love to hear your
go for it,
trash
I'd
Jackson.
like to hear
What
the
you
pickup
got?
lines too.
You know what?
I just want to make sure
talk
that you're
about-
not going to grab the only one that I actually have used.
Oh no, mine's actually a Jackson original. I think I went over on the
for it.
podcast before. But instead, I just want to talk about vampire media properties.
Oh, okay. Is that what we're doing?
Okay,
Are we pulling
cool.
this? Are
I
we
think
pulling
that's
a
what we're
hard
doing.
right?
I think it's time.
Doing a hard right.
All right.
You know who's familiar
Maybe
with
hard
vampires
left, comrade.
to a slight extent and more horror as a concept to a larger extent?
Is it you? And also
It
your
is not
mother?
me. It is, well, I mean, I am familiar with horror as a
Yeah?
big concept, but she edits horror books sometimes.
I do. They are some of my favorite books to edit, actually. But then, like when I'm editing a really good one that's really scary, I feel like I have to keep myself propped against the wall, like in a corner, so there's nothing behind me, and I keep my feet up off the floor, so there's nothing that's going to grab my legs.
Now,
And you see a spelling error, and everything's okay.
Yeah, and then
now
I'm like,
you do
oh,
realize
that's
it's
right,
just
it's
a book, and a book can't hurt you outside of the bad spelling, right?
But you know, it's the type of thing that makes
book monsters can't hurt you. Book monsters.
the truly horrifying books are the ones that are just written badly. But I really love editing horror books. It's just I had forgotten how much I loved horror, and when I started editing some horror books, again, it just made me want to go and get a bunch of horror books again and just read them all day long.
And you can.
Yeah.
And you know
have that
where you
freedom.
can get those horror books?
Where, Noah? You ever
Well-
been sponsored before, Noah?
Listen, I have things I want to bring to that, but I want to get through this vampire discussion first because I have things I want to bring to that
Yeah, I
sponsorship.
have
you don't-
library discussion, and I have...
Yeah,
you don't
we
want
got-
me to plug our sponsible audible?
go-
Oh gosh,
off,
the
King.
music's building up. I can hear it. I can hear it in my head.
Bum, 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 hey!
No one's been sponsored, guys.
He misses the sponsorship one time, and he now has to do nothing but make sure he gets it in as quickly as possible.
Jeff Bezos sent him an email and was like, if you ever have to sponsor one more time, I'm gonna come to your house and I'm
Swear to
gonna kill you by throwing $1 bills on you until you die. Because I
What
can
a way
do
to
that.
go.
You know, if from Jeff Bezos, I wouldn't be surprised though. That man's petty as all hell. Like, remember when the guy tried to, who was it? It was some drama magazine, and they tried to blackmail him because they had pictures of him sending pictures to some girl with his wedding ring on, and he was like trying to have an affair, and they sent him an email describing the pictures in detail. So he screenshots the email, posts it all over Twitter, and blasts the company. And he's just like, oh, so you think you can come at me? I think we've talked about this before, but it's my favorite freaking thing. The man just, he didn't care. He's
Wow.
like, yeah, I'm having an affair. What you gonna do about it?
I mean, he's kind of right. It's not like
Wow.
a crime.
What a
you know?
jerk.
Like you can just cheat on your wife if you want. Like it makes you a bad person.
I
But,
wonder
like,
what
you
his
can-
pickup line is.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, that's probably it. That's all he
Noah and I
needs.
are original and very clever. In case
Very-
you get
So
very-
walk up and be like,
I am
do you
very
know the richest
smart.
man in the world? And she'd be like, no. And he'd be like, now you do.
Nice
No,
to
that
meet
is, see,
you.
that's objectively better.
Thank you.
Dang it, Jackson. How come you had to one up me and Dan's really trash pickup line?
Gee, it's almost
Everything
like
I do is just me trying to prove that I'm better than everyone else on this podcast.
I mean,
Oh,
that
shoot,
to be
you're
fair.
Wow.
You can say that I am. It's okay.
I mean, I wasn't going to because I was
Yeah,
going
you
to
were.
try
You
and let you move
could.
on to vampires.
Oh yeah, let's talk about vampires.
I kind of miss them.
Do you
I
miss
don't know why
scary
you think they're
vampires or just all
gone.
vampires?
I just kind of like. I don't think they're gone, but I do think that like if you were a teenager in 2010, vampires were literally everywhere, and I didn't really care that much back then. I was like, whatever, man.
But you know what? That's why people aren't writing about them now, is because they feel like nobody's going to buy it because it's been just saturated everywhere.
It's true, but we've been through like a little bit of a bear market, and for vampires. So I feel like a couple years from now, someone's gonna be like, it's time for a real good piece of sexually charged vampire teenage drama.
There you go. I
'Cause
do
every
know
couple
people
years,
who are
it is time for
purposely
that.
not writing their vampire novels that they have ideas for because they don't want to release one right now.
I think
Bears or
we're
no
just
bears?
entering into the almost like a Twilight Renaissance. Because I'm not talking like scary vampires. I don't give a shit.
So you
I
like
wanna talk
sparkly
about-
vampires?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
I don't
I would
want
have pegged you for liking the really scary ones that are genuinely monsters, like mean monsters,
No, that would
not
be
the
me.
I'm so romantic and
That's been-
misunderstood monsters.
That's been played out since like the 20s. I'm ready. I want more sparkly vampires. I want more melodramatic vampires who just pretend that they're misunderstood and mistake depth for meaning. I want that. Give me those vampires. Give me the ones that sparkle and everyone gets mad at. Because like, look at it. Like I'm running the numbers here. Edward Cullen sparkles in the sun. Sure, that's dumb or whatever. But like, he's still as strong as a normal vampire, right? So like,
People are just jealous.
he's objectively stronger than most other vampires because
And
he's
he's going to
not
live a lot
sun-proof.
longer.
Yeah, you can just go out in the sun and be like, I'm Jay chillin'.
I
Like,
really
imagine if-
never would have pegged you for the sparkly type.
Oh yeah, no, I'm big on board with the sparkly type vampires, and I think it's because I missed it when I was a teenager because I was like a 13-year-old boy at the time when it was hip to hate Twilight. So I was out there, hating
Hating
Twilight with
Twilight.
the rest of them.
Oh, yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm 22. I'm coming around on it. I'm like, you know what, Twilight? Actually, I think the first time I watched a Twilight movie, I was like 19, and I was like, you know what? This ain't half bad for what it is. And
The
ever
books
since then, I've
actually
been
weren't
kinda
that
like,
bad.
you know
People
what?
really trashed them, but the books weren't that bad.
I did not read the books.
They're all right.
I watched the movies and was like, you know what? I'm all right with this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, the books aren't
Which
bad.
sad
They're not
boys?
like deep literature. Like, it's not like what you're going to read in prison. But
Yeah.
it is okay.
But it is a little bit like what you might edit after prison.
Deeply familiar with prison literature.
Yeah. In all my years of reading in prison, I can tell you that, it's not deep, but they are clean too. I mean, for as involved and violent and stuff as they are, they're pretty much good for almost any audience.
Yeah, they drive Volvos.
I'm sorry, what?
That's
Do
the
they?
mark of credibility.
That's what I'm saying. You ever meet somebody driving a Volvo that you didn't like? McCain drives a Volvo. He's cool.
It's true. McCain is pretty cool.
I
We
don't
haven't
know
had him
McCain.
on the podcast yet.
Actually, does he drive a Volvo? I think it's that or like it's like an older like luxury car though.
McCain,
Maybe
I'm
an
going to
Audi.
need you to call us out if you don't drive a Volvo so that we can
I
retract
think he
this
drives a
statement.
Volvo though, because I drove around with him in it. I think it's a Volvo.
Does he sparkle?
He does
He
not.
does, oddly enough.
personality
Weird guess,
does.
but yeah.
His personality shines though.
I'm just taking a shot here.
Yeah,
Hey,
I don't
that's
think
my
he's
thing.
a vampire because his Volvo is like 2001.
Nice.
I'm channeling
drove
you,
like
Dan.
Ooh,
I'm
don't
saying
do
what I
that.
think Dan would
That's
say.
dangerous.
I know.
That way, to
but-
that side lies only destruction.
Yeah, please don't
But I
channel
know
Dan.
Dan wanted to
I did.
talk
I have.
about zombie properties.
I did, because where this conversation started was I said, "Hey guys, we should talk about zombies." Just because, like, honest to God, it's because I woke up at like 2:00 in the morning and was like, "Oh man, we should talk about zombies on the podcast." Which
Weird. I woke up at 2 in the
Ooh.
morning because I had a dream that Bernie Sanders started the gay communist party. Not kidding. I don't know why I had that dream. I tweeted about it. It's a very strange dream.
Wow.
weird
but,
choice for
actually,
Bernie, but you know what? Honestly, I
I'm
can
gonna
kind of
use
see it.
this. I'm gonna use this to whip out my Bernie Sanders impression.
Go for
Because
it,
in my
bud.
dream he was like, "The Democratic Party is entirely too split. It is time for us to become the gay communist party." And then like thousands of people streamed in the auditorium with like rainbow flags that had like sickles and hammer on them, just like screaming news.
Oh, hold on, Noah. Can you please find us an image of a good rainbow communist flag? Put that up
Yeah,
for
I'm
us on
sure I
screen.
can.
Because
Yeah, it was a very strange dream, and I woke up saying like, I feel like I need to tone down my personality just a bit.
Wow.
I woke up and was like, I think I might need to change who I am.
does not define who I am.
I think it did though. In that moment when I woke
In
up,
that
I was
moment,
like,
for the briefest
I
of
was like, I
moments.
guess that's the culmination of what my brain was.
I gotta say,
slowly
when I
been
agreed to come
becoming.
on the podcast, that is not one of the things I thought I'd be hearing.
I didn't think I'd even
About the
think that up
Communist
until
Party?
Why? Why did you think that wasn't a thing you'd eventually hear?
I guess
True.
I have just a limited brain.
Me too.
I'm not
I mean, that
able to
explains a
think
whole
that
lot
much
about
outside
Noah.
the box.
very limited.
Explains a whole lot about Noah. There it is, Noah. You did it.
Hey now.
I'll take it.
Oh
You're an all-star.
my!
My brain indeed walnut sized. But zombie properties, honestly,
Go ahead. Do your hot take.
I just feel it's not really a hot take. I just feel the
It's
same way I do about
definitely a
superhero
hot
movies.
take.
It's not
Where,
that
like,
hot a take.
I feel like I have a kind of toned down take because most people are like zombie movies are overplayed. I'm just kind of like they're just gonna keep coming out, and I'm just gonna keep not really caring about them.
That is not okay. For
Okay,
context,
Dan,
Jackson
okay,
expressed
yeah.
this as zombies are superhero movies.
Yeah,
Which
well,
is
I expressed
not-
it in like 6 words over Discord because I knew it would make
That's
Dan
fair.
angry, and it would only take me 3 seconds to make Dan type out 4 paragraphs.
That's fair.
And so I did that.
True.
I
That's
was
pretty
asking
efficient.
Noah.
Responded with another 6 words.
I was asking Noah in the background whether or not it was you trying to bait me or not.
Yeah, he messaged me.
I
He's
was.
like, "Is he trying to bait me?" And I'm like, "I mean, he definitely is, but I'm also on his side for this. I'm very done with zombie movies."
You know what though? Best zombie movie maybe of all time because I don't really have any incredible reference for George Romero. You know, I mean, it's
yeah.
a shame he's no longer with us, but I don't have any incredible reference for his work. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies
There it
genuinely
is.
made my favorite
Nice.
zombie movie. That movie slaps.
You know,
It
I
is
was so after
good.
after I pointed out that was the best zombie romance movie, which it is, because why would you make a zombie romance movie?
Yeah.
You said book.
Jackson immediately goes off on how it's the greatest zombie movie, and here's the problem: I haven't seen it. I only know that
You
the book
should.
exists. I didn't know there was a movie. I'm gonna have
so
to push for it to be a movie night
I
because
have heard it's excellent.
it looks like
Because
a trash
here's the
pile.
thing.
It looks like a flaming
No,
trash
he-
pile
Here's
No,
the
Jeff
thing.
likes it too.
It is literally Pride and Prejudice
with
and
zombies.
zombies.
Yeah.
That like it's like it is actually a better telling of Pride and Prejudice than like the 2008 one with James McAvoy, where they go to Vegas. That one's really bad. And somehow in the year of our Lord 2016, they made one where it was just the story Pride and Prejudice, but also all the girls have knives.
How does
I
that
mean,
even work?
They
Well,
have
you
knives
see, they
and
go
wear
out to
like
the
they wear like
store,
leather
the knife
corsets and they
store.
Do
just knife. They just knife zombies pretty much, yeah. And they also date boys.
Wow.
Gross.
Some boys
that's
are
that's
no
illegal. You
good.
can't do that.
No.
Wait, that's
no,
illegal.
I'm out.
Done.
It
Yeah.
is
Linda,
I don't even know why I'm
Linda,
here.
professional editor, cannot deal with stories that involve dating boys. That's too much.
No, I edit all that stuff out. I'm like, you will not do this. It's just so not done.
And they kiss. No,
No.
they don't.
No, they do not.
Send back.
I'm sorry.
Are they
You
married?
mentioned a ring on
No.
those fingers. They better not be kissing.
That's all my
And even
side
then,
notes in the
thin
margin.
ice.
I'm like, do you really think this is a wise choice? I don't think so. We're cutting out this whole scene.
I'm sure
You know
they
what?
love it
Scrap
when
the
you do
book.
that.
Oh yeah.
You're never
That's
gonna
their
work in this
favorite.
town. Never come back.
You're never gonna work in this town again. Sorry, Mr. Solomon.
You're making it worse.
So
What a specific
definitely-
reference. I'm so glad. Gosh.
hot take. I feel like I'm out here just living my life, and I feel like every homeschool person has the same reference book.
It's
No,
true.
we do.
do.
That's
Like,
very
We just all saw
accurate.
the same movies.
They all got the same film reference book, and I didn't get it. I just got the hey, you're gonna watch the Polar Express every year on Christmas because you're in public
Ew.
school, kid.
Why?
And I
Wow.
hate that movie. I
I saw
absolutely
that
loathe
once.
that movie.
Only okay.
Precisely. It's
I
not
saw it
nearly
once and I was
good.
like, what is the big deal? I mean, it was okay, but I don't love it. Like if I'm going to
It's-
love a Christmas movie, it's going to be Jingle All the Way or The
No,
Heat
you're not.
Miser or
You
something.
don't need to love
Yo,
it.
it's not. That movie is not called The Heat Miser. You know that,
It's
right?
called Year Without Santa
know,
Claus.
I know.
It's called Year Without a
but
Santa Claus. I
literally most
unironically
of that
spent the
movie
first
is
like
important
10, 15
other
years of
than
my
that.
life thinking that was the name of the movie. Was The Heat
Heat
Mr.
Miser?
Miser. Yeah.
What about the Snow Miser?
He's Mr.
He's
Snow.
just
Nobody
so-
likes him.
No, he's like a type.
He's Mr.
yeah.
Icicle. Mr. 10 Below.
This is not a Christmas podcast.
I'm sorry.
I
This
wanted
is
to-
the 4th of July, guys. Can we please get
You
back on
guys-
topic for the
Well,
holidays?
that's when the
What
Heat
is more
Miser
4th of
really
July
does
than
his
shooting
thing.
zombies?
Heat miser
stabbing
on
them
4th
because
of
it's Pride and
July.
Prejudice and zombies.
Shoot,
Oh, yeah,
you
there
right.
you go.
No,
And like zombie
I wanted
hunters in
to,
it. It's great. It's so good.
honest to God, besides having it in the middle, having this thought in the middle of the night, I am not a fan of. I don't enjoy the more like public zombie novels. Those are too much for me.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Yeah, man.
Also, you said zombie novel, and I feel like we're talking about totally different things because I would rather die.
Actually, here's Lynda.
Yes.
I know you've edited horror books. Have you
Yes, I
edited a
have.
good zombie book here or there?
Yes, actually.
Have you edited?
I edited a series of zombie books that's still not done yet. But the first 3 books are done. No, the first 3, 4. Hang on, let me look at my shelf behind me. I moved my books. 3 books. The first 3 books of this book series that's going to be probably 4 or 5 books. They're excellent. It's about people who become zombies through this virus that they get, and they just turn very quickly, and it spreads throughout Florida and all across the United States.
Not
And
Florida.
I know.
Of course
it starts
it
in
starts
Florida
in
because
Florida.
I don't
everything
want to call your
incubates in
author out,
Florida.
but figures he would write a book about Florida.
Well, he says he has no imagination for visual things. Like, so he just, when he describes places, it's stuff that's in his neighborhood and everything, because that way he can just look at it and write down what it looks like.
That's.
You know,
I
I don't
mean,
say, I don't
you
know
know
what
what? At least
involve
he's
any
honest
visuals.
about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
If
don't
you
know.
don't
try to
avoid ever
pretend.
writing about scenery, may I introduce you to Kansas?
Honestly,
Kansas.
Flat.
There's nothing here.
Flat.
I
Right?
think that's actually their slogan.
I think it is. I remember
Kansas
seeing
is
that
nothing
somewhere.
Kansas.
Nothing to see
Kansas.
here.
There's nothing here. They did say Wichita in the Seven Nation Army, so
Well, there you
jot
go.
that down.
that was the most Kansas ever did. Truly,
We were referenced in a pretty famous song.
you know what? That's more famous than Erie's ever gonna get. So you know what? I'll take it.
We got Pat Monahan.
Didn't William Howard Taft, the president, come from Erie? Like-
I'm sorry. I think you mean the editors of VeggieTales came from Erie.
They did?
No, I'm pretty
The
sure
animators
William Howard
from
Taft.
VeggieTales graduated from Edinburgh. My
Jack
parents
Stauber?
pitched. My parents tried to get me so hard to go to Edinburgh because of that, and I'm like, guys, animation. First of all, it's not film. Second of all,
There you go.
I don't
It's
want to make
true, it's
VeggieTales.
subpar.
Like I love
was gonna
VeggieTales,
say-
but I don't.
I cannot see you making VeggieTales. It would be a bad VeggieTales.
It would-
You
Also,
would have to make something different though, like Fruit Tales. Like
Fruit by the foot.
I went to a liberal college and came out making Fruity Tales.
All right, we're moving very far away
It's
from
Pride
this
Month.
because this is just dumb.
Wait, but famous people from Erie. I'm pretty
wait.
sure we had a president literally come from
Did
Erie.
we?
William Howard Taft. I'm not positive. He
If
either
only we
was like
had
a
access
congressional
to the
senator
sum
from
of
Erie.
all human knowledge.
Yeah, I don't really want to type because my keyboard's really loud.
I mean, so is mine. Doesn't stop me. Cincinnati. He came from Cincinnati.
Oh, I don't know why I thought maybe he lives in Erie or something, retired there. But there's like a little thing to him in the city. It's like a hey, fat man.
maybe he just sat somewhere and they were like, "Hey, he broke our chair, so we're gonna put a plaque on the bench here and make it famous."
That's probably it. He probably
that's such
broke
a
a chair.
passive aggressive move.
Okay, so
And you're like, "Hey, what? Don't you want any
But,
notoriety for being famous here?" And he'd be like, "No, you're telling me that I broke your chair." And they're like, "But we gave you a plaque. You should be thankful."
so I googled which president came from Erie, PA, and the second search result was is Erie, PA safe? And the
The
chance of
answer is
being
no.
a victim of violent or property crime in Erie is 1 in 38, which is 88% higher than the it has a higher crime rate than 88% of the state's cities and towns of any size.
So
Yikes.
We'll
property
talk about
crime.
property damage because oh boy.
Because
I
a big
do,
bad
actually.
I wanna
president
talk
came and
about-
broke their chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Dan,
property
Dan has,
damage
wait.
for you.
Dan has a couple of zombie things he really does want to
No,
plug.
I did.
though.
I did actually, because I'm a fucking film snob and I hate myself.
Yes.
I like the things that zombies are usually talked about in the context of is in the context of like what they actually mean in terms of like metaphorical and like on a social level.
Uh-huh.
And that's where I like think they're really interesting. And I think that like
Cell phone make us dumb.
I mean, yeah, that's one of them.
Oh my gosh,
Consumerism
thank you
is
for coming
like
to
the
my
biggest
TED
one.
Almost the plot of the new Child's Play movie, which sucked. It didn't suck.
And Noah
it just
felt
wasn't
like a
good.
zombie when he came out of it.
I did. a little
Communism
bit.
is like the big, or communism. Wow, consumer culture is the big
okay.
thing.
I almost got excited.
Is like the big thing that like that zombie movies are usually a metaphor for. But like, there's a lot of like real, in my opinion, really interesting ways that they deal with certain things. Like stinking. I didn't even add this to the list of things that I
they
sent
stink.
to Noah. But the freaking What is the name of the movie? Wow, I am blanking.
got it, buddy.
We are.
Keep going.
I Am
Do
Legend.
it.
There we go. I got there.
Yeah. There you go.
I Am Legend
I'm exhausted
for you.
does really interesting
Comrade.
things in my opinion with like the idea of a zombie, and like I sent Noah a bunch of like random things that I had because like there's things that matter to me or that I've gotten involved with in some way, shape, or form because of them being zombie properties. I just think it's really interesting. I think that like yes, on some level they do get a bad rap because a lot of zombie properties are shite. Absolute.
Don't say shite.
They're shit. They're absolute shit.
Thank you.
Got you, bud.
I just didn't like that. It just didn't sound right. It just wasn't right.
I think they work really well in terms of video games because like having a bajillion things to fight against is really convenient when you have to have faceless enemies like
Who just keep coming and coming and coming.
Exactly.
Now, there's only two ways you can do that, which is you can take the zombie route of having dead bodies, or you can take the Dynasty Warriors route of having the population of China.
Or have rat people.
Rat people.
That's Vermintide, and I think that's really just like one game.
I mean,
I guess there's two. There's two now.
Yeah.
They made a sequel.
So like people as big as rats, or rats as big as people,
Rats
or somebody
as big as
like
people
Rats
that
as
walk
big
on
as
all
people.
fours.
like Mr.
on
Ratburn
all
on
fours.
Arthur.
Sort of,
Yeah,
but less gay.
friendly.
I was going to say Mr. Ratburn, confirmed gay icon, question mark?
Confirmed gay icon, Mr. Ratburn, who definitely is friendly, though stern.
I don't know why you're
Did
pointing
Did you just
that
like
out.
read his
That was really
Wikipedia
weird.
description?
I just
Mr.
made that
Ratburn
up.
is a
Maybe I
character
should
in
I
add it
Arthur's
just
to
recently had to
Wikipedia.
edit
What's
an Arthur,
A Mr. Ratburn book.
Arthur book.
Arthur erotica.
No, why would you look that up?
Arthur also from Erie.
I believe it.
What?
Arthur's from Erie.
Yeah, they talk about it in the show. Arthur's
Yeah, all
like,
the time.
yeah, here in
I am going to point
Erie,
out for a
Pennsylvania.
fraction of a second, I believed you because I actually never watched Arthur growing up.
Are you? Oh, that's
What?
right. We did talk about that.
We did talk about this.
Wait, no,
Were
no,
you
no,
not
you-
allowed?
I just didn't have
So-
cable for most of my young adult life.
Okay,
Oh,
firstly,
okay,
it's
okay.
public access TV, not cable.
I didn't have a TV that had like connections to anything except for a GameCube.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah,
And a DVD
we didn't
player.
talk about it on podcast, but we did talk about it on a movie night or something.
That's what it was.
We were all hanging out, and I made a deep cut reference to the two twins whose name I can't remember coming up. Oh yeah, because Dan was just being an asshole, and I'm sitting here minding my business.
No, that
And
sounds like fake
Dan's-
news.
Dan says something mean to me, and I just was like, Dan, you know, you're like the twins in Arthur who came up to DW and they're like, hey, you're bossy and your house stinks. Just telling the truth.
Yeah, but here's the thing: were they wrong?
No. Also, that was
Yeah.
the first time I realized that DW
Yeah.
was voiced by like a little boy. I never
I mean,
realized that. Yeah, no. If you look at clips
No,
or if you
not
listen to
that.
clips, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Continue then, Jackson.
Like, do you guys think that Arthur does take place in Erie? I was not joking.
Oh wait, really?
No, and Mark Brown is
Yes.
from Erie, Arthur's
yeah,
creator.
he's from Erie. Like it's like he grew up in Erie. Mr. Ratburn was his actual teacher. Like the story takes place in Erie.
Oh my gosh.
Holy
Wow.
shit! Yeah,
This is the best
you are
thing I've heard
actually
all day.
correct. Holy
That's why I
crap!
said that. And then
I thought
and,
you
like, it
were.
took
I
me
thought
a-
you were making a joke out of it, and
thought
I
it
was
was a
very.
bit.
I
No.
was. Wow.
I thought
Yeah.
this was and then Arthur turned to the camera
It's
and said,
literally
"We're
called
all
Mill Creek
Erie,
Mall."
PA now."
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, is it shaped like a gun though? 'Cause I don't think it is.
Probably is not, if I had to guess.
Wow. I would never. I apologize, Jackson. I thought you were doing a bit. I am very sorry.
I desperately
That's
want to
okay.
rewatch this show now with that
Same.
in
I
mind.
also
you go.
kind of want to watch it under that context.
I kind of want to watch it with you guys just because I'm here.
I did fight back.
Yeah.
Well, you're not invited.
And
Sorry.
then-
You just
and
missed
then-
me. That's what it
Oh,
is. I
rats.
know the truth.
And Noah won't let me sing the theme
I'm
song
sorry. I think
if
you
we
mean
watch
aw,
it
beans.
together. Oh, beans.
This is gonna chase me forever.
Yeah. Oh,
And I'm not
I
happy
hope so.
about
I really
I
hope.
promise
I
not
hope
to say
everything
it at
we've ever
family
done on this
gatherings.
podcast chases you for the rest of your life.
I certainly hope not.
I mean, to be fair,
I
I also
certainly
hope it
hope
chases
not.
me for the rest of my life. But that's
I hope that it kills me.
same. I hope it
I'd
kills
like
you
to see
too.
it try. I'd like to
Podcast
see it
gains
try.
sentience and just
I'd
tries
like
to ruin our
to
day.
face the demons I've created through my stream of consciousness dialogue.
I thought by quitting Twitch, you already defeated half of those demons.
Yeah, and then he brought
They've
them
come
back.
back
He
as
reopened the
zombies.
portal.
Now, bold of you to assume that the Twitch following doesn't just comment on everything I post on Twitter instead.
It's true.
I
they do
actually
that.
I have muted or have not blocked, but like banned from following me like 4 or 5 different people.
because they wouldn't stop doing
Yep.
stuff.
I was pretty upset when you banned me.
Yeah, I
I
had
thought
to.
I was just trying to be nice and motherly, and you
You
just
just
like
kept saying
shut me down.
Arthur's from Erie.
That's all
on
I
every
can
one of
think
my
of.
posts.
You weren't listening, and I just had to say it louder and in capital letters.
It makes
Next
sense,
thing
yeah.
I knew, I was
Arthur's
blocked.
not from Erie. Maybe he is. I'm not a narc.
And then next thing I knew, I just couldn't even find you on Twitter anymore. And I'm like, he blocked me.
No, I
Doggone
deleted it.
it.
Don't worry.
Oh.
My Twitter has some good tweets. Like earlier today when I was at a graduation party, and there was just like 40 old people, and then like a couple of high school guys, like who were friends with the guy who was graduating, and me hanging out with my parents, and all of the Noah replied. Thank you, Noah, for that. Replying, Arthur's from Erie. But all of the teenagers like gathered in a little like circle and started dancing to the crab rave musics, like they put on the crab rave video, and just were like dancing to it. And I was very happy.
Nice.
I was very proud of Gen Z. I was like, the world's in good hands.
Well, it's in hands.
Yeah. Because then one of the other dudes at the party proceeded to, there was like a dog that they had out back that was like, you know, in her like cage, so she wouldn't, you know, get stressed out or freak out on people. So they had the dog caged up, and then this dude went over and like the dog was barking at him, and he put his hand in the dog cage and it bit him, and he was like freaking out and mad, and I was like,
You stuck your hand in.
I was like, you, and like he was like going off about like the dog needs to like put down or whatever. I was like, dude, you stuck your hand in a barking dog's cage.
People are so stupid.
Like, that's your fault. Like, no one, like, it didn't chase you down. It didn't, like, you ran up to the dog who they had purposefully, you know, left away. Mm-hmm. And then you just, you know, you play with fire, buddy.
So did you push him the rest of the way in the cage just to teach him a lesson?
I did. And I actually joined the dog, and we
You also bit him?
No, the dog used its fists, actually.
Oh, okay.
After the first bite. And we just punched him.
It was a fair fight then. I wish I had been at that party. I'm invited to like 5 graduation parties this summer, and I hope at least one of them is that exciting.
Yeah,
might
they did the
even
crab
bring
rave
a
dance,
dog.
and then a guy got bit by a dog.
I might even bring like a mean dog with me.
Half of those invites, and I don't quite have the heart to tell them, you guys, I'm not going back. But at the same time, also, like, you'd think they'd have gotten the hint at this point.
That
Well,
you
and
haven't
some of
come
them
to
I'm
an
like,
event in
okay,
years.
I'm friends with your mom, but I don't like you. So I'm not coming.
Wow, that is, oh boy.
Well, I
feel
don't
that
say
in my
it to
soul.
them, but in my head, that's my first reaction is like, why on earth would I want to see this person that I've managed to avoid?
It's what she told me the other day about somebody. She's like, oh my God. I can't believe it.
I need you to do me a real solid and let me know which ones once we're done with the episode.
I'm sure you can probably guess, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I can guess
going.
because I know a couple of people that are graduating, and I'm like, really? Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna invite me? I doubt it. I don't think you're going. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
They just
Thank
need seat fillers, you know, like at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
You could put on
Just
your
like
tux
that.
and go sit in
Yeah.
a picnic chair and eat some fried
No,
chicken.
it's just really trying to get more people. Like, no one wants to go to the Academy Awards anymore.
Yeah, nobody.
What can we do to get people here?
Yeah.
So they just invite everybody.
And they pretend it's a graduation party, but when you get there, it's the Academy Awards
the
and you feel like
Academy
really
Awards.
ripped off because you
And
didn't
then
realize
Aaron
you were
Eckhart's
going.
there, and he's like, he's got to like not talk to Noah because like he didn't friend him on Facebook, but he also doesn't want to be mean.
Yep.
And so
It's a
he's
whole
just kind of
thing.
like,
and then
like,
Noah asks, "Hey, why didn't you did you get my friend request?" And he's like, "Oh no, I must have missed it."
missed it, yeah. But first, he spent the first hour of the party pretending not to like make eye contact with Noah, even though like
It was clear that I was
both
right
were like
there.
acknowledging each other. Yeah, like they knew the other one was there, and they like knew there was an elephant in the room, but like Aaron pretended he wasn't aware. You know, it was a whole
That just
thing.
makes for really awkward social interactions.
And like, Aaron Eckhart, why are you even at the Academy Awards? Did you act in any movies this year? And he's like, no, but they told me it was a graduation party too.
Speaking of graduation parties, though, I have
Yeah.
major beef with with people that try and get you to commit to coming or not. Like
I know
every
who you're talking about.
I'm talking about the same person you were. Now, I
Yep.
have this thing where I always put a maybe for graduation parties. There are very few people that I'm like, I will attend.
Same.
So
Do
because
attend.
I would love to attend as many as possible, but I know I can't afford to, A, or B, like make the time to. So I always mark a maybe. And then the person that my mom was talking about messaged me privately saying, with a copy paste message saying, hey everyone, we're trying to get a good list of who all's coming to kids' graduation party. So if you could just confirm,
Or deny.
then no, she didn't say confirm or deny. So she's like, so if you could just confirm for us your status, we'd really appreciate it. So I immediately went and said I wasn't going.
Yeah.
Because screw that.
That's some kind of
Because, like,
confirmation.
because I'm I really
It's the
don't
whole idea of an open house.
like.
You don't know who's
that-
coming.
I know where they're holding the party at. It's a big place. It's not like there's mandatory seating. If you run out of food because I said maybe, then man, it sucks. I don't get food. It's not a big deal.
Also, I'm gonna point this out. Have any of us ever been to a graduation party that had food that then ran completely out of food?
Oh, never.
No,
Never.
there's always something. At the very
always
least,
at
you're gonna
least
have
40
chips
pounds
for
of potato
days.
salad.
You're always sending stuff home with people like, please take
Oh,
this
man.
with you. We don't want to eat this for a week.
Man, I was that kid. I was the guy who was like, "Hey, I'll take that off your hands for you if you
There
want me
you
to."
go. Maybe you
I
should
think I
go
did
in
that
my place.
at Noah's graduation party. Actually, I'm like 90% sure I did.
But that's pretty cool, though, because that was less that I had to take home with me.
Oh,
Exactly.
the truest struggle. Oh man, what am I gonna do with all this extra food?
Well, I mean, there's an upper limit.
Like check. Okay, you guys all need to check your privilege real quick, because how dare
No,
you?
like there is an upper limit to how much food you can save.
Yeah, and there's an upper limit to how much of an absolute bitch you are for not eating it all. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta eat that food.
There you go. And if you bring it home with
Feel
you,
like you're
you'll feel
underestimating
obligated
how
to eat
much
it.
food I can eat.
Or you feed it to all your
Or-
friends and family. You have an extra mini party.
That's what you already did.
You think all of my friends and
have another
family showed
graduation
up to
party?
Noah's graduation party? Actually, you're probably right. At the time, pretty much all of them. But still,
Your family? Yeah, your entire family showed up to my graduation.
I know.
What are you talking about?
no, I
don't think I went to Noah's
said
graduation
friends
party,
and family,
actually.
to be fair. But yeah,
Oh,
Actually, I think I was like 8 when Noah graduated.
right?
I definitely invited you, and I don't think you made it.
I don't know if I
Nobody
knew
from
you,
that
actually.
church made it.
Yeah, no one from that church made it.
I
like
was
even
very
the people I
bitter.
was in a band with, I was a
Yikes.
little hurt by that.
Yeah. Well,
Yikes.
I don't.
And like,
'Cause
so
did they-
how-
did
wait,
they
Did they
Jackson-
confirm on
Noah.
Facebook?
Jackson, you were no, oh,
Nope.
shut up, Jackson. You were like Jeff's friend more, so that's fine. I get that.
You know, we didn't really know each other, but also I was just like, did I know you at the time?
I think you did.
Because I don't know if I did actually. Because I'm like 2 years younger than Jeff.
That's right. I was forgetting about
You
that.
might have been on the fringes. I didn't realize you were that much younger.
Yeah, like I just turned 22.
Freaking
I will also
wild.
point out I showed up
Yeah,
and
you
I am the
probably
same
didn't
age
get
as
invited then.
Jackson.
Yeah, I might not have known you guys. But yeah, but you knew
You
Noah
were
for a
there,
long time
Dan.
before
You were
me.
devoted. Even then.
Yeah.
Even then, back when
Dan
I
and
still
I
had
weren't
things to
even
believe
friends
in.
back then. That's
Not
great.
really. We
What
did
a
the
good
podcast. That
friend.
was about it.
We
Or not the
did
podcast.
the
What was the thing we did at the time?
The YouTube channel,
That's what it
which
was.
was essentially a really shitty podcast,
Actually, you know what? I actually
So
enjoyed that
it
project.
not
I,
sound-
It
I
was
don't
neat.
regret
Fun.
that. That was a time.
but it was not good. It was
No,
fun.
but
But it
was
showed
not
you
good.
guys
Oh,
what you
absolutely
enjoyed
not.
doing.
So,
I mean, to be fair, neither is the current podcast, but like
Hey,
that doesn't
hey,
stop us from doing
I
it.
love this one though.
No, but that
Yeah, I think
old
this is
one
pretty
showed you
good.
guys that you really liked doing what you were doing and you wanted to do it better. So now you're better.
And then
Look
I went
at
to film
you.
school and
I
realized
didn't
that,
do the old one.
that turns out you can't really make money making YouTube videos with your dumb friends unless you are very good at it.
Well,
but I'm
there's
gonna
that.
just run the numbers for you guys real quick. So Dan and Noah, part of that YouTube channel thing. Jackson, not. The YouTube channel thing, pretty bad. Podcast, pretty good. Jackson, part of the podcast.
You know what?
So I'm not really
feel like-
clear
I
on
feel-
what you're trying to say there, Jackson.
I feel like part of the equation was missing.
Me.
You know,
I'm here now.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like we got that C
We
squared.
needed Lynda
to
to,
get
be
the
on
perfect
our
triangle.
shitty
I'm
YouTube channel
the
project.
secret ingredient.
I was like,
Chemical X?
I was like, this podcast was all right. I was
No
like, but this
chemicals,
podcast is
I'm
going
not
to
a
really
narc.
get off the ground.
Sugar,
40
spice,
episodes
and
in.
everything nice, and then
Oh, there
Linda's
you
Chemical
go.
X.
I am definitely spice.
Yeah, Noah's
Dan,
everything nice. I am
I was gonna
definitely
say,
not
you're
sugar.
You're not sugar, but you're definitely not everything nice. Are we allowed to have
mean, I think I-
spice
Jackson is
and
sugar.
everything nice?
I'll take sugar.
I think Jackson's sugar. I will take spice.
I am the sweetest.
And Noah
Oh,
likes
so
Noah
Noah's
everything
everything
nice.
nice.
But I'm also the hottest, so I'm spice.
By
Are
I'm
temperature?
you?
crunch, and I think I'm probably everything nice. You know what? I might also be chemical X.
You are kind of an X factor.
I'm crunching the math. I'm doing the math. I'm crunching the numbers. I'm looking at the graphs.
Doing that hardcore, in-depth
yeah,
research
I'll-
that you are known for.
Wow.
The reason we
did-
brought you on this podcast in the first place.
I have done the classic of using the wrong formula but getting the right answer.
Ooh, I see you also went to school.
I've heard that
Yes,
before.
I did also go to school.
Well, I almost said went to high school, but then I realized that I didn't really go to high school, so it doesn't really
you
count.
just went to the kitchen or
You didn't go to high school, but you graduated from it, which is that's more than most people can say. For not
Yikes.
going, you still graduated.
That's fair. I had
That's
a
like a
0%
big
attendance rate.
accomplishment.
I went and graduated.
Well, but that's the normal.
That's normal.
Path, though. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
that's
that's
average.
special,
You
Mr.
basic
Spicy.
is what we're
Not-
saying.
It is not the normal path for people in this call.
No,
That's- you
well,
know
there's
what? That's
not
fair.
much that is normal about the people in
wouldn't
this
that make
call.
it a 50% shot? Because I don't think, Lynda, you weren't homeschooled. You went to real school.
I was not.
So yeah, that's a 50. You're still pretty much average. 50-50 is average.
Yeah.
So then yours was too.
Yeah, I didn't imply that mine was
Alright.
special. You implied that mine was special.
I think you are special.
I just feel like Noah's the one who's at fault here.
I mean, I also feel that way, but that's because I have a deep-seated hatred of the man that I haven't been
Weird.
able to really
Very
justify.
weird.
I tuned out real
Yeah.
hard and came into something about me.
Dan
Oh.
said he hated you.
I did hear that, and now I'm confused.
But
Are you
on the up and up, he
surprised?
said he couldn't justify it.
That makes me feel better? Question mark, but not
Yeah,
much.
well, he hates you, but he can't even find a reason. That's pretty cool.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So on that, I think this is a good
Yeah.
time to wrap up.
No,
Noah just wants to get us out of here. Noah,
Noah just wants.
Noah,
to
who's our
just be over.
sponsor today?
Our
We
sponsor,
already talked
You
about
did-
it.
He didn't really get to. We kind of cut him off.
I really
did?
tried to. That music crashed and burned, but it's okay because now
No, Noah, who's our real sponsor today?
Kick It
Me.
Away Band. Our sponsor is audibletrial.com/off the air. Well, Audible is our sponsor, but you can find out more about that at audibletrial.com/off the air. Lynda, as a book aficionado, you like Audible, right?
I do.
This is the part where you say yes, even if you absolutely have not
Oh.
not used Audible in the past. It's
You
okay.
have to say yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, I love
How
Audible.
dare you not listen to me like this?
I mean, you're her son. It's very easy to tune you out. She's got very many years of practice.
I'm just not even sure that I'm still allowed to talk. I mean, I've been sort of just saying stuff
Alright,
this
you
whole
can shut up
time.
now,
for
Dan.
so long.
You love
someone-
Audible.
I do
I've just
actually.
been
I actually have a
waiting for
book
someone to
recommendation
tell
that
me
is
to
a
stop.
new one.
Wait, can't we let the guest recommend a book who
You know,
is
the one who's a
also
professional
the professional
editor?
book editor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she can talk
you could.
about her book in a minute.
Dan's
I
just
mean,
gonna recommend some zombie book.
I am.
He is.
You are absolutely
Is
correct.
it Rotten Ruin?
It
If
is
it's Rotten
not.
Ruin, I'm
Although
gonna
I actually
shoot
like
everyone.
Rotten
Okay.
Ruin. Those books aren't bad. They're fine young adult novels.
Oxymoron, but I'll take it.
Hey, no, I don't think that's fair to young adult novels. They're okay young adult novels.
I don't think we have to be fair to young adult novels.
Listen, man, somebody's got to write them. Somebody has to do
They
it.
got enough people standing up for him. It's okay to bash them.
Apparently not. Listen, there aren't enough people here. Anyway, no, I was actually going to recommend Deadlands, which is one of my favorite IPs on the planet that I just found out literally today while looking into stuff for this episode. Has a book series that is on Audible and Amazon. TLDR, it's Magic Wild Wild West, and it is awesome. Yeah.
Have you seen regular Wild Wild West?
I have
With
regular Wild
Will
Wild West.
Smith?
You know how we had that argument way back about wizards and also cowboys.
Yeah, which has been solved, and there's a definitive answer, and I was right.
Yeah, there was a definitive answer. That is correct. But no, this is like I feel like the combination of the two. It has a little bit of steampunkiness to it. It has a lot of magic. It has undead. It has all of it. It's a good time.
if I may,
love the hell out of it.
As my dad once said, if you poop in a Cadillac, it's still got poop in it.
Oh.
So I don't know if I trust your
don't-
wizard and cowboy adventure.
I'm gonna be
I'd
honest.
rather
I'd
just have
still
a
rather.
cowboy adventure.
I would still like the Cadillac though. Like I'd take what I could get.
I have
Have a
found
Cadillac with the number 2.
this last week. I have found out there are many things. There is a point at which things get so dirty that they are not worth keeping, regardless of the quality.
Like
And
this
if you
spot, like
think
you, like it was it you or you
Oh,
the one you
no.
discovered?
Oh no! Wait, have you not been aware of my,
Oh, I
my
know. I've been
housewarming
keeping up
adventures?
on it. Yeah, it's been
Oh,
rough.
it's
I feel
terrible.
bad.
It's vile. Yeah, it's vile.
I honestly, like, as much as I joke about it, I actually genuinely feel bad because nobody should have to go through that.
After we get done recording, I'm gonna go burn hundreds of pounds of discarded wood.
I thought you were gonna
stretchers,
say
and wet clothing.
Never mind. I thought you were gonna say something very different.
Weird. Oh, also, there's a Confederate flag in there for me to burn, so that's exciting.
Nice. Lynda, give us
Wow.
a good book recommendation. What do you got for us?
Oh, see, I'm terrible with stuff like this because all the stuff that I end up reading lately, like over the past year or so, is stuff that nobody else wants to read because it's all like grammar books and stuff.
Have you heard my recommendations?
You recommended
I don't think I've ever read a book someone
Crime
else
and
wants to read.
Punishment last week, or the week before. So I think he's
there
fine.
you go.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, so a bunch of books that I have never read yet, but everybody keeps telling me I need to read is anything by Terry Pratchett, all the Discworld
do love me
books.
some Terry Pratchett.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to recommend, even though I have no basis for it other than everybody tells me I need to read them.
That's fair. Today we learned that Noah gets his willingness to just go along with what everyone else says from his mother.
There you go.
And today,
Because we all
learned
know
the
how
most-
much Noah goes along with what everybody else says.
and I think we learned really today that the real Double Wings Butter Pecan Porter was the friends we made along the way.
It was. It
Ah,
honestly
I just
honestly
want butter
was.
now. Like, it's making me hungry
just
for
want-
butter.
Butter?
Can we get Paula Dean on the show?
Can we afford Paula Dean?
She said the N word. She's not worth that much
Yeah.
anymore.
She
That
can
is
hang out
not
with Noah.
big doubt. Big doubt.
She doesn't have a
She
show.
might be
bud.
happy to be on.
Yeah.
She's probably
If you say
desperate
the N
for
word in
gigs.
Georgia, I think they build you like a statue or something.
You know, I want to find fault in this, but you know what? Man's right. Man's knows what's up.
I'm going to go
actually,
on
I
Google
kinda like
Maps and look
Georgia.
at maps of Georgia and see if I can find any images of like big statues of Paula Dean.
She's
I
down
kinda
to
like
she's
Georgia,
down to
actually.
a net worth of 14 million.
Oh, is that
Oh.
You know, I think our
Dan, she's as
collective
poor
net,
as you
I think
are,
our
Dan.
collective net worth is maybe 500,000. If that's being super
I am
generous.
a homeowner.
A homeowner, yeah.
A homeowner.
That okay.
I'm also a garbage owner because it's mostly garbage right now.
Just like the rest of this
But it's getting
podcast.
there.
Hey, no.
First floor is
Noah,
clean.
can you give us some plugs and get us out of here?
No, can you get us out of here? I want to go home.
Noah, can you
I
get
am-
Paula Dean? Because I
I
want
gotta
some
go
butter.
change. I gotta go
No,
switch
can
my
you
laundry
spell it in
over.
here?
My name is Noah. You can find me
Hi.
on Twitter and Instagram
Hi,
and Twitch
Noah.
as Bubba the Bad, BUBBADABAD. Our fanciful guest is right here, and she's about to tell you where you can find her.
Oh, hey, yeah. You can find me on, let's see, I'm on Twitter as Lynda Dietz4, LYNDADIETZ, the number 4. And you can find me on Instagram as Easy Reader Editing. And you can find me pretty much anywhere else as Easy Reader Editing.
Look at that. She has an actual brand.
Yeah,
I
she
do.
has.
Where can you find me?
I have a brand. I have a logo that was designed for me by a real artist who does logos. And like, I'm really excited every time I look at it. I'm like, I
Wow.
look so cool. And
That
I hope
sounds like
people don't
such
find out
shade
that I'm
being
not
thrown
really cool.
at me, and I really don't
I
appreciate
felt like that
it.
was some serious
I-
shade, and I got a little hurt.
I thought
no.
art wasn't real.
Art
I love
isn't
you
real.
guys'
Art's
logo.
all an illusion.
Yeah, I thought.
brought on
That's
by
what I
the
thought.
by the capitalist masses.
And I can't wait until the totalitarian state comes in and just erases all forms of
Yeah, man.
self-expression.
Wow.
Jackson, where can they find you for some more hot
I don't know,
takes?
man.
Where can they find
My
any of
Twitter's
you?
really not that many hot takes. It's
I don't know,
mostly just
man.
like good quotes, and every once in a while I say "Free Bobby Shmurda." I'm a simple man.
Simple
Give me
taste.
damn plugs. Get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore.
Don't you have to do your thing still?
I asked you to do yours first.
Yeah,
You're
well, I'm
ruining
not
the
gonna do
flow.
mine. I do mine like 10% of the time. It's part of the mystique.
He's at Jacksonium.
You can-
Sometimes
with
with one
two
M,
M's.
sometimes with 2 M's.
Somebody,
Yeah.
at least somebody got it.
You just have
I
to
mean,
follow
we
your
got
heart.
it. We just,
I'm
know,
like
really not happy with you
I'm like
about
the
it.
I'm like the set diva. You know,
He
Yeah,
hires
and you know
people
what?
to say his creds for him.
I'm the lead actress, and I'm just gonna sit in my trailer until someone else does everything for
Here's
me.
the thing: the lead actress actually has to add something to everything to actually be worth the time.
Are you
And
trying
wear
to
big
say that he
sunglasses.
is? Are you trying to
Keep
say
talking
that
like
he
that,
is?
and I'm gonna stay in my trailer for the rest of the day.
Bye. You know that lead
I mean-
actresses get fired, right? You know they fire
Not when
people
we're
from.
3/4 of the way done through filming.
That is not true. I have
can
fired
happen
actresses halfway through
anytime.
filming.
Dan, did you give your plugs and I wasn't paying attention?
Nope. Born Rule 47 on just about everything. Born Rule on Twitch. Come hang
All
out.
right, cool.
We'll do things.
I was like, please stop.
Just stop talking.
Just stop. Just
Noah hates
stop.
happiness and love. Confirmed.
It's
No, he
true.
loves
Kinda my
happiness
thing.
and love.
And you know where you can find the podcast, by the way.
Where?
I know you guys
Where
are
can we
never
find
going to
the
guess. But you
Where
can
can we find the
go
podcast?
you can go to twitter.com/theofftheair.
Twitter.
Mhm.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know where
What
else
is
you can
that?
go?
Where?
Facebook.com/OTA podcasts.
Oh, on Facebook.
Is there
We're
more?
on Facebook.
There's
there
also
is
a
more.
Discord.
Have you?
Where else
There
can we
is a
find
Discord.
it?
You can find that Discord. I'm assuming actually you could probably find it by using the Discord search feature, but I've never tried.
Discord search.
But you can find it in You can find it in our oh my gosh.
Pin tweets.
Why can't I
Pin
in our
tweets.
pinned tweets?
Our Twitter, our pin tweets.
Actually,
Internet?
I think I may have accidentally overpinned that tweet, but we'll talk about that later.
What?
Yikes.
Don't worry about it. I'll fix it.
What about iTunes? Can they find you on iTunes?
Yeah, we're on all your favorite listening things except Spotify. So
On
What?
Spotify.
not on Spotify.
Why are we not on Spotify? Oh wait,
costs
I know the answer because
money.
Spotify is
It costs
impossible
money.
to get on.
It's actually very easy to get on, but it would involve me hosting our episodes on a different what do you call? It would involve us
Server?
hosting the episodes on a different server, which would cost me more money. So we haven't done that
Man,
yet.
if only you had access to a server that's just been sitting idle for a while that could host all the episodes easily.
You have to go through their
Minecraft
approved
server?
stuff.
Yeah, no, you can only go through like a list of servers.
Yeah, they're
that are like
picky
big
about it.
podcast hosting servers.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
anyway, if you go on iTunes though, drop us that sweet 5-star review and
Or
a
4 stars.
or any
five
review.
star.
Or 5.
Do 5-star. Even if you say mean things in the review, give us 5 stars anyway. Because if you give us 5 stars, I'm gonna read it. I'll read it out on air.
No matter what it says,
Ooh.
that's
No
a
matter
Noah
wh-
promise.
That is not a Noah promise. There are
That
certain
is a
words.
Noah promise. He
promise.
is.
I
Everyone
am
heard it.
going
Y'all heard it.
to
Noah will say
iTunes.
anything if you give him a 5-star review.
I am going
Or
there
I'll say
right
it.
now.
You say some
How-
offensive
is
things,
You're
he'll
my
have to
own
say it.
mother, and you've never reviewed my podcast.
I'm on the podcast and I haven't
I
reviewed
didn't know I
it.
was allowed.
I'm on the podcast and I haven't reviewed the podcast.
I
I
can't
have
believe
to
I'm
tell
the
you
only
guys, I
person
want to
that cares
comment
enough.
every time I listen to a podcast, but I don't want to be that person who's the only comment every time. But I
Comment
love
on
these
the-
podcasts.
If you comment on the YouTube video, you won't be the only one.
oh,
Wait,
okay.
people actually
I'll have
look
to
at
do
the
that.
YouTube videos?
Of course
Yeah.
I do. I get
Since-
email notifications.
No, I meant people besides us actually
Oh,
look
yeah,
at the
no.
YouTube.
I think
A lot of people listen to
YouTube's
him.
actually the best platform for us, honestly.
Yeah, there's this dude named
Whack.
Ethan Hands. Shout out to you, guy. I don't know who you are off the top of my head.
Yo, when
I'll
does
be
Ethan
honest.
Feet come out?
I know who
yeah.
that is.
Wait, hold up. Ethan Hands?
Wait, really?
More like, show me a pic of them Ethan feet. I need to go. I gotta go home.
Well, if you want us to say anything, though, you can. If you subscribe
Anything.
to our Patreon at the $10 level,
Anything.
you get to get 140 characters of us saying something that you want us to.
Noah, would you
Ooh.
say all beans for the Patreon, or is that like a...
Ooh, that's a really
Or
good
does,
question.
or does that come in as like
Oh,
a
that's-
racial
what
slur
if,
type
what
thing?
if that's somebody's? What if that's your mom's comment that she's about to make?
See,
I'm pretty sure it
Oh,
is.
no, I would never do that to him.
right
Yes, you
here,
would.
it does
Don't
say
lie.
anything you want as long as it isn't racist, sexist, homophobic, or the like. So I think all beans is. Oh my gosh!
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I didn't.
We,
It wasn't
ladies
me.
and gentlemen,
Edit
we
that
got him,
out.
and not only did we
Wait,
get him, we
hold
got
up,
him on
hold
the
up.
air.
But guys, if Noah just edits that out, it'll be the same thing as when everyone tried to claim that he said other things he didn't say. Because he can just say he didn't say it,
Yeah.
and he'll sound completely
Yeah, yeah.
right. Because everyone will be like, Noah said it, and he'll
Do you
be
think
like,
that,
no, I
also,
didn't.
that also runs in the family?
Yeah, probably.
Yikes.
he-
Statistically, eventually, at some point, yeah, definitely.
I gotta leave it in now because you won't stop talking about it.
you won't stop talking about it no matter what.
It was
I'm
part of our
furious.
master plan. Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, you could have cut
one
this
last
episode
thing.
6 minutes ago.
One last thing. Next week is our 1-year anniversary.
It is.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's not
It
time
isn't
yet.
like
Shut up.
it's not like we're
Oh, happy
this isn't a
almost
marriage. It's if anything, it's a prison.
Happy
Weird.
prison
Actually,
anniversary.
much like a lot of marriages.
Because
but
Yeah,
We need to
that's
end the
and yeah,
episode.
tune in. We got some really special stuff planned for that. I'm
we should
excited.
have ended the episode like 6 minutes ago.
Bye.
It's coming on an hour and a half.
It's a good episode though.
That's okay. They'll cut out all the parts where I actually did talk, and it'll be down to an hour again.
I am pressing the stop button right now. Here we go.
Bye, everybody.